Archaeologists working in the Sicilian Channel between Tunisia and Sicily, they've discovered this 40-foot-long limestone monolith. Now, they are suspecting that it was carved by Stone Age humans. They estimate it to be 10,000 years old.
This isn't just a rock. It's a riddle carved into the seabed, one that even the sharpest minds haven't cracked. 40 meters beneath the waves near Sicily lies a massive limestone slab, drilled with 3 perfect holes, standing like it's waiting for us to remember. Joe Rogan hasn't covered it yet, but when he does, you know Graham Hancock will be right there with him.
My view is the ancient world had the right attitude.
Raising eyebrows and asking,
what I care about is learning the lessons of the past in order to clear away that fog that surrounds prehistory. And it's a fog because there's no documents. We have to build our picture of the past from fragmentary evidence.
who really built this and when? The Pantelleria Vecchia Bank Megalith isn't just underwater, it's under debate. And what if this silent giant changes everything we think we know about ancient human history? The Pantelleria Vecchia Bank Megalith unveiled. Picture this. You're drifting through the Strait of Sicily, that narrow passage of sea between Tunisia and the southern edge of Italy. Nothing but blue surrounds you until sonar scans pick up something strange. Back in 2015, 2 geophysicists, Dr. Emanuele Lodolo and Dr. Zvi Ben Avraham, were using high-resolution mapping tools when they spotted it. A 12-meter-long monolith, 15 tons in weight, lying upright on the seabed nearly 40 meters below the surface. At first glance, it looked like just another hunk of ancient limestone. But as the images sharpened, something odd emerged. 3 circular holes, evenly spaced, cleanly cut. Too smooth, too regular, too intentional to be nature's doing. They called it the Pantelleria Vecchia Bank Megalith, named after the nearby underwater bank where it was found. And ever since that day, it's been puzzling everyone who hears about it. Because here's the kicker. Based on shell fragments stuck to the stone, scientists dated its placement to around 9,350 years ago. That's thousands of years before the pyramids, before written language, before most of history as we know it even began. A time before the floods. Back then, the world looked very different. Around 9,350 years ago, the Mesolithic era was in full swing. Glaciers were still retreating, and the oceans hadn't yet swallowed the coasts. The area where the monolith now rests? It was dry land, maybe a plain, maybe dotted with wild grasses, scattered camps, and wandering humans trying to make sense of their shifting world. And this is where things start to get strange. The limestone that makes up the megalith isn't from the seafloor itself. That seabed is estimated to be over 10 million years old, which means the stone wasn't just sitting there. It was likely moved, dragged, or carried from somewhere else. By who and how? This wasn't a pebble you could toss into a cart. This thing weighs as much as a bus. Moving it would have required planning, tools, and collaboration. It would have been a mission, and yet somehow it was done. Add in those 3 deliberate holes, and you've got a setup that feels more like engineering than erosion. It suggests a purpose, a human one, and that changes everything. Technology or luck? So here's where it really starts to mess with the experts. The holes in the monolith aren't rough or irregular. They're smooth, nearly identical in size, and cleanly drilled through thick stone. Not the kind of thing you'd expect from nature just playing around. And definitely not what you'd expect from Mesolithic humans with simple stone tools. We're talking about a period when most tools were flint flakes, bone chisels, maybe antler picks. No metal, no machines, and certainly no drills as we know them. So how did they pull it off? Did they spend days rubbing stone against stone? Or did they know something we don't? That's what makes the Pantelleria Megalith so strange. If it's really man-made, then it pushes the boundaries of what we believe humans could do at the time. And if it's not, if nature somehow shaped and positioned it like this, then that's almost equally mind-blowing. Scientists debate, as they should. Some call it erosion, some say tectonic shifts. But the holes, the placement, the sheer scale, it just doesn't sit right. Not without a serious stretch of the imagination. Now first, like always, be sure to hit the like button down below. It helps us out tremendously with the reach of this video. Thank you. Rogan, Hancock, and the Lost Civilization Hypothesis. Now this is where things start sounding like a late-night Joe Rogan deep dive. While the Pantelleria Vecchia Bank Megalith hasn't officially made its way onto the Joe Rogan Experience, it fits like a puzzle piece in the world Joe and Graham Hancock love to explore. These two have been sounding the alarm for years, insisting that human history might be older, stranger, and far more advanced than mainstream archaeology admits. Take JRE number 1284 or number 1897. Hancock's on the mic, pitching his theory about an Ice Age civilization that was wiped out around 12,800 years ago by a comet, a civilization that may have passed down its knowledge to survivors. Now enter Pantelleria, this submerged, perfectly holed-out stone, dated just a few thousand years after that supposed collapse. Joe would be all over this. He's the guy asking, wait, how did hunter-gatherers even do that? He's not claiming answers, but he's not buying the simple story either. If the monolith really is man-made, then it's not just a relic, it's evidence. Evidence that someone, somewhere, was building things that don't fit the script. Comparing ancient wonders. Let's stack Pantelleria next to some of the world's other ancient puzzles. First up, Göbekli Tepe in Turkey. Massive T-shaped pillars carved with animals, built 11,600 years ago by supposed hunter-gatherers. The precision there? Mind-blowing. Then there's the Great Sphinx in Egypt. Graham Hancock and geologist Robert Schoch argue it shows signs of erosion from heavy rainfall, which could mean it's over 12,000 years old, far older than most historians claim. Pantelleria may be smaller, but it has that same eerie contradiction. Simple humans doing impossible things. Its three symmetrical holes echo the intentionality seen in Göbekli's carvings. Its underwater fate mirrors Bimini Road off the Bahamas, another submerged site with strange block-like formations that scientists still debate. Even the Serpent Mound in Ohio, perfectly aligned with celestial events over 12,000 years ago, fits into this pattern. Ancient works that seem too advanced for the people who supposedly made them. Pantelleria doesn't shout like the pyramids. It whispers, but it whispers the same unsettling message. We don't know nearly as much about early humans as we thought we did. Maybe we've underestimated them. Or maybe we've forgotten something big. Theory, speculation, and science. Scientists love to stay grounded in what they can prove. So when it comes to the Pantelleria monolith, a few theories float around. Some say it might have been a boundary marker, planted to mark territory or sea routes when the area was still dry land. Others suggest it could have been used in rituals or seasonal ceremonies, something symbolic, maybe even sacred. But here's where it gets strange again. Marine geology studies published in reputable journals confirm the holes look artificially made. They aren't fractures or cracks caused by natural stress. They go deep, straight, and look intentional. Add that to the fact that the monolith is standing upright, not slumped or broken, and the natural explanation starts feeling a little thin. And what about the logistics? If this stone was quarried elsewhere, it had to be transported, maybe over land, maybe floated somehow, before the floods came. Was this part of a larger site that now lies buried under silt and time? Speculation is all we've got for now. But every diver who goes down there comes up with more questions than answers. That alone makes this stone worth obsessing over. The human element. Forget the stone for a moment. Think about the people. Imagine a small group of Mesolithic humans standing on that ancient grassy plain where the Strait of Sicily now lies submerged. They weren't kings or pharaohs, no empires, no metal, just communities trying to survive in a changing world. And yet, someone among them looked at a massive chunk of limestone and thought, let's shape this. Was it a symbol? A gathering point? A monument to the dead or the sky? Maybe it marked a trade path or a ritual site. Maybe it was something more personal, something we'll never fully grasp. What we do know is this. Whoever built it wasn't careless. Those holes weren't made by accident. That stone didn't just fall into place. And when the sea came, slow and merciless, it took everything. The homes, the stories, the meaning behind the monument. but it left the stone. Standing, silent, waiting. This is where archaeology blurs into poetry. The Pantelleria Megalith isn't just a relic, it's a message. Not in words, but in effort, in placement, in the fact that it's still there, whispering to anyone willing to listen. How it stacks up to other ancient mysteries. Compared to giants like the pyramids or Stonehenge, the Pantelleria monolith seems modest. But that's the trick. It's not about size. It's about timing, context, and impossibility. Built before most of what we call civilization, it challenges the whole timeline. And when you place it beside other anomalies, it starts to shine in its quiet way. Take Bimini Road. Submerged off the Bahamas, shaped like a pathway, is still controversial. Or Serpent Mound in Ohio, with solar alignments dating back over 12,000 years. Then there's Cholula in Mexico, the world's largest pyramid by volume, hiding older layers beneath its surface. Pantelleria belongs in that mix. It might not be as flashy, but it hits the same nerve. A 15-ton block, shaped, transported, and planted in place, only to be swallowed by the sea. And those holes? They show the same kind of intent we see at Göbekli Tepe or the Sphinx. Each of these sites is a thread. Together they hint at a bigger, stranger human story, one we're only beginning to unravel. This stone shouldn't exist, not like this, not from that time, and certainly not with those holes. And yet, it does. Resting beneath the waves, the Pantelleria Vecchia Bank Megalith quietly disrupts everything we thought we knew about our ancient past. Joe Rogan hasn't cracked it open yet, but it's only a matter of time. When he does, it'll spark the same question echoing in so many minds. What else have we missed? Because sometimes, history isn't buried, it's drowned. And what lies beneath might not just be a stone. It might be a warning, a memory, a story still waiting to be heard.